Ladies and gentlemen, today we are going to be looking at 5 Granny mobile mods that, well, perhaps change Granny forever for the good or the worse. That is what today's video is about. Strap in, grab whatever you may need, soda, popcorn, and enjoy this top 5 video. Today we're going to be looking at 5 Granny mods that change the game in a very unique way, perhaps even a humorous way, but maybe even a scarier way. Either way, I do hope you enjoy this top 5 by leaving a like, and well, if you enjoy the content, subscribing by hitting the bell and making it go ding. It helps notify you of every future upload so you do not miss any of the exclusive content that is going to be, well, hitting the channel. You can also join the channel, which is beside the subscribe button, I do believe, which allows you to kind of get insider badges and emojis and cool little things like that. We're currently working on that, by the way, so I'm really excited to get all that kind of booted up and started. That feature is basically on YouTube just to kind of help your creators a little bit more that you enjoy watching. Anyways, enough of that. They're always changing their policies and all kinds of other stuff, but today we're here with the top 5, and that is top 5 Granny mobile mods that you may or may not enjoy taking a look at. Now, allow me to just kind of go over what Granny mods are. Basically, it's not much changed usually other than the textures of the game itself. So when it comes to a game like Granny that is on the mobile app store, available for all to download on iOS and Android devices as well, I have to say, how could you really modify the game? They are mods that allow you to even have guns and different things, but most of these mods result in retextures of the actual game. Slight modifications outside of that is also sometimes what we see, but not all the time. So what is a retexture mod that you would normally see with Granny? Well, it takes your favorite theme, perhaps if it's SpongeBob or anime, some anime to be specifically, and retexturing everything to make the Granny game seem totally different in that aspect. So without further ado, and now we got all that out, I'm sure all of you know what Granny is if you're watching this video. If not, you need to go play it, and well, best of luck to you on completing the game. Either way, let's dive in with number 5. Number 5 is a mod that, well, I'm gonna be honest, it was the first Granny mod that I myself personally played.
My friends and I was out like every other day, shaking the park where all the boys are riding skateboards. They look so hot, they look so cool, everyone is around.
I have to say, it changed my outlook on Granny and the modifications, aka the retextures that we would see of this game forever. Like, this was such a unique and weird mod for me, myself, to begin playing, and that is, of course, no other than the Barbie mod. Now, this one is very, very weird. I mean, it takes Barbie and introduces Granny. How can you take something so lighthearted like Barbie and introduce it to Granny, which is like this evil, scary, creepy game? I didn't really know either, but it actually balances itself out in a humorous, nice way. It actually creates the Granny experience in a twist, and it makes you not feel as scared, and you actually don't feel like you're going to, well, get absolutely terrorized upon walking around the house. Everything is retextured in like a Barbie-like format. It's all pink, and it's rather unorthodox in its own way, and of course, as you can guess, Granny does look a little bit different. Granny looks rather, well, let's say for the first time in Granny's life, she's actually trying to look beautiful for us, and I have to say, she doesn't really pull it off too well, but either way, I think it's the effort that counts. You know, if you're trying, that's better than nothing, so I definitely have to give Granny some credit there. She's trying to make herself look better and not as scary, but she's still trying to come and kill us and not let us leave her house. Either way, if you do manage to make it through all 5 nights, you will get a very interesting cutscene, all retextured in the Barbie Granny way. So yeah, it's definitely interesting, and with all these mods, I think it is such a unique thing to see the beginning and the ending and all of the house. I mean, you can, even from going outside, everything is retextured in such a weird, humorous way, be it whatever mod you have installed. So with that aside, that's number 5. So taking it to number 4, you may be like, well, how can you get much more weird or anything in regards after having played the Barbie mod? Is there anything that could possibly one-up that? Well, I have to tell you all simply this. All this list is compiled together with nothing being better than the other. I'm not saying that this mod is better than the other mod or anything of relating sort. I am just listing these as I went through them. They're not in no order, basically, is what I'm saying. So that be the case, we are now moving to the SpongeBob one. Now, this one is actually really funny, and this mod is completely different. I do believe there's multiple different SpongeBob mods, but Granny takes on a completely different look depending on the one that you download, and it's actually really humorous and funny, and you also can actually play at the Krusty Krab. So, mind you, I do believe there is like different variables to the SpongeBob mod. I think there's a few of them out there, so each of them may be different. I'm only going to show you guys the ones that I actually am aware of and have a little bit of experience with. So, yeah, that be the case, though. It's really fun because you actually get to take a stab at the Krusty Krab and actually go through there and well, escape Granny in the weirdest of ways, which I think is great because depending on which mod that you download, you will be able to hide in different unique locations, and it kind of creates a different variable, but with the same good old Granny aspect of you just trying to get the hell out of wherever you are, specifically being the Krusty Krab here. I mean, I always thought the Krusty Krab was great. I never thought for one day, any time, I would be like, I want to escape this dreadful place, but when you have someone trapping you and not letting you leave and putting bear traps everywhere, even if you have the key to the door, you better watch your step. So that's why I believe that SpongeBob modification for Granny had to be on this list, and I think all of you will agree. If you're watching it right now and seeing the footage, it is hilarious, and it is, I don't know, I think it's one of those that I think everyone should play at some point in time. So moving right on to number 3, and that is a mod unlike any other as well, ladies and gentlemen. And this one is basically, it retextures all of Granny to be rich. Everything is rich. Now, you may be like, what, rich in texture? Rich as in maybe it's too sweet? You ate too much chocolate type rich? Not quite. But I like how you're trying to figure this out. Actually, no, rich in the aspect of money. Lots of money. Maybe, you decided to, you were stranded one night. You knocked on a door, you were like, hey, I'm really in a bad position. Can I stay at your place? And of course, that door you knocked on happened to be Granny's, and she was like, sure, come on upstairs. I'm sure you're going to be able to leave. You notice her whole house is oddly textured with money and everything of sort, and the floors are even that of gold. Yeah, that would be the Granny Rich in Gold modification. Now, a lot of these mods are by one specific individual. I do believe he's from Russia or somebody could correct me if I'm wrong, but he makes some of the best Granny retextured mods I have seen. He's pretty good, darn good at it. So, yeah, it's always interesting to see what he kind of comes up with, and this one being the Rich in Gold mod for Granny. Now, as I said, this one pretty much retextures everything in a very fancy format, so perhaps if you're a fancy type of person, this may be something you enjoy. The floors are textured of that of gold. The walls are made of $100 bills. It is hilarious in every single way, and some of the items that you pick up is basically just money. Like, it's cool to see how everything is different, and you can even get that, which is a VIP card, of course, unlike other things. It's just cool. You guys would have to see it, and I'm pretty sure Granny actually in this one maybe has like on a nice red dress, so she's actually dressing to impress, but either way, the Rich in Gold mod is definitely something that maybe people can get a laugh out of as well. So moving on to number 2, and that is of course no other than the Police mod. Now, you may be like, wait a second, police? Yes, if Granny's after me, I want to call the police right now, and I want to get as far away from Granny as I possibly can. I totally agree with you, actually. But the police mod adds another unique twist. It makes everything seem very crime-related in the sense of, like, you can go to the bath till there's blood, but it's also friendly in its own way as well. Some of the walls look that of what would be like a kid's room, perhaps, with just badges and stuff on the wallpapers, and it looks very childlike and fun, but you still get a dark twist from here and there depending on the turn that you can do. So it doesn't retexture too much. It kind of is a more basic mod, but it still is cool because I don't know, the aspect of it is really unique. To see something like a police mod, you're like, wait a second, how does this really apply and stuff? So it makes you feel like more of an investigator, more of like you're trying to go about doing something properly. Now, in the aspect of Granny being retextured, Granny is actually retextured kind of like as the police, which is kind of weird. Granny's like, perhaps you're the one that's wrong here, and Granny's coming after you to put you in jail. Or maybe Granny is into some rather weird kinky stuff. I'm not for sure, but either way, that is of course a interesting mod as well, and the police mod adds a unique twist, and I think that's absolutely amazing. So you may be asking yourself, all right, you said none of these were in order, but what is number 1? Surely you did save something rather special for the number 1 spot, right? You caught me, and you know that is absolutely something I would do. Yes, I saved one of the best ones for last, and this one I think is one that everyone is intrigued to see more about or want to see what it's all about, and that is of course no other good than the Baldi Granny mod as well. Now, this one retextures everything in a Baldi-like setting. Maybe you are in a weird schoolhouse or school that is not really of the norm, and well, your whole life you've been told that it's normal, but all of a sudden you want to leave and your teacher won't let you. Well, this one is really fun, and I think it definitely deserved a spot on this list without a doubt. Everything from this mod is really unique and great. You know, even from the simple, you know, go grab the crossbow, go tranquilize, quote-unquote, Baldi Granny, because that's what this one does. It basically takes Granny and retextures Granny into a Baldi. Basically, Granny is Baldi. Like, I don't know. Is it Branny? You combine it, see what I combine it. Anyways, I'm not quite sure either, but that would have to do it for our top 5 Granny mobile mods. If you ever play Granny, you might want to check one of these out if you want to do some modifications. A lot of people may be like, that's great, but how do I install these mods? Well, I will be trying to leave a link to all the creators of these mods in the description below. On top of doing that, I will quickly say you're not going to be able to get mods as easy if you are on iOS devices, so please do note that. Android users, you will have no problem installing these mods if you just follow the directions from one of the creators. So with that aside, thank you guys so much for watching the video. As always, if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe and enable post notification by ringing the bell and making it go ding. That way you get notified of all future uploads. As always, we keep it all about love and positivity here on the channel, and I hope to see you all in the next one.